This is day one of the multi-strada that belongs to Najat. We rescued 3 of his motorcycles from a storage garage. They've been in storage many years, and we had some issues that we had to deal with, and I think there's some surprisingly good basic 101 information on this about freeing up frozen disc brakes, replacing a battery, maybe some information you can use. And you can watch this whole video, like all of my modern videos, in full 4K. Just adjust your YouTube setting. So today Najat is supposed to come over here. I don't know what time he's going to get here. He's on his way. I'm going to get the bikes moved around and get prepped up. His Ducati has been in storage for many years, and we want to go over the whole bike. Basically, number one thing, of course, replace the battery, and I don't know what else he wants to do. What we're going to try to check the whole stand out, maybe get the bike running. It's below freezing, so I'm not sure he's going to want to go for a test ride. I don't. If he does, even better. And I don't know what else he wants to do on a bike, but a bike that's been in storage for 3-4 years, I'd be a little skeptical. Maybe the brakes have to be bled, or the chain, and the tires, of course, most of all. So we're going to do that check, do like a thorough check. But the first thing, as always here, first thing, move the bikes around so we have some room to work. So this is a 10-year-old multi-strada. I don't know how many miles. I don't have the key here even, but we've gone on many rides with this bike. It's a really, really nice bike. I don't know how many miles are on the tires. It looks like he might have a little rubber left on the tires. Haven't looked at the chain, but I'll measure that with the chain measuring tool. See what's going on with that. I don't know if he wants to do an oil change. I would prefer you take one short ride and do the oil change, but I don't know. It's his bike, of course, and we're going to work together and share the adventure with you. And by the way, he was the first one I ever knew when I first met him, and this was like 12 years ago. He had a tank bag on his Triumph, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. But I wound up inventing and making, and just for sake, I have the Jivy one. But over the years, I've had several choices. The Jivy to me worked the best, and then I made my own little guy with the radar detector. But I'm going to move things around. As soon as he gets here, we'll be ready to work. Now, the day we moved these bikes, it was 14 degrees, it was freezing, there was ice, and it was snowing. And it really was an ordeal moving them. And I never realized, because I never sat on a bike, this bike really sits up high, relative to me anyway. And boy, it feels like it weighs about 3 times as much as the MT-09. So here's a great trick. If you're moving things uphill and you don't have as much horsepower as you'd like, one of the things I always do, and we did it for this bike, we had to push it up a tremendous hill. As we put 50 pounds of air in the tires, well, we're going to change that before we ride the bike. But it's a good trick if you got to move a bike around or push it up a hill. Just put a lot of air in the tires. Now, for me, being a weak old man, it's probably that the brakes are dragging or something, but this bike feels like a bicycle compared to that multi-strada. Oh man, or maybe it's just that I'm weak and old, or both. I just went around this. The general cleanup ought to be easy, but I hope he doesn't forget to bring the stand so we can check the brake drag and things like that. Anyway, just waiting for Najat to get here. Oh, it's no problem. Let's get prepped up here, baby.
The only thing is, I don't have anything on the back to...
Okay, so with the saddlebag off, that'll just make it a little easier. We run out of room to work here. People want to know why I don't buy more motorcycles. Wait till you start working in a tight environment. Your garage is 4 times bigger than mine, you know.
No, it isn't.
Twice, at least twice.
No, it barely holds the 2 motorcycles.
Well, then you'll have to sell them. And well, we don't have the manual where the battery is, but it's usually right under the seat, if you can figure that out.
Well, it is under the seat because I had to hook up the heat stuff.
Okay. Yeah, but you worked on this bike already. Yeah. 10 years, you should have worked on it. Plus, you got the official Ducati tools. And who knows what's in that bag, a dead mouse or something. See, the problem is I don't work on Ducati, so I don't know. There might be tricks to this that I don't know about.
So
we had trouble. We had Joe Roselli's Yamaha. We couldn't. Yeah, there it is. Okay, just wiggle off the seat. Do the wiggle woggle. You need my skill saw? I'll show you how to get that off. Yeah. It couldn't be easier. Now, Joe Roselli and we were in the bagel place trying to figure out how to get the seat off the bike. Okay, so you got a lot of stuff going on under here. I will do it very carefully though. Okay, but you can see how it comes out. And how old is this battery? It's 5 years old.
No, it's the original battery.
10 years old.
Yeah.
Good thing you got a new battery. All right, now the trick is get it in a position where we can work on it on both sides of the bike. I'll let you move it around. That thing is heavy.
It is heavy.
Man, or I'm old, or
God,
both.
It's so beautiful though. Look
Oh,
at
it is beautiful. What do you want? Hey, you know, I love the look here. Like it's a mean looking bike. It wants to bite you. Something.
It doesn't have a screen. Look at that.
Yeah, you're a macho man, boy. Look at that carbon fiber, and that's real carbon fiber. That's not that toilet paper they put on bikes.
Right?
Yeah, just grab the wrench, and it looks like you got one thing one screw holds the battery in, and then of course we got to just take the. Oh, you already got jumper wires on that for the charger. It should be very, very slick. It looks like that one. That's all you have to do is release that, and you're all set to go, baby.
I like these T-wrenches.
So you got the T-wrench, okay. Yeah, that day with Joe Roselli was funny, but we figured it out. It just took forever to figure it out. Keep in mind, I think it's important when you work on a bike, especially with your friends, job one is always have a lot of fun. So if you're new to working on a bike, or if you're not sure of yourself, what'll happen is I take all the wires off the positive first, put a zip tie around them. That's going to go. Now the reason is he's got jumper cables and things on this, and once you take the battery out, these wires all tend to fall together, and if you don't have them color coded, and it's always a good idea if you're not sure, take a picture of it, or take what we're doing right now, a video of it.
Get Wendy to give you a video.
Yeah. Okay, now you got all the rest of the other stuff there. Yeah, it really is probably better if you had a live battery to do the positive first. I thought this was positive because I saw this red wire, but it's not. So, you got them all red, so not a professional wiring job. Not like mine. They're all blue.
Because I don't think I took everything apart when I did the...
Okay, but what you got 3. These are positive. We got a zip tie on them. These are the original underneath. You actually have 6 now. You got the main one that goes to the relay to the starter.
And the 5, yeah.
So you're going to have, that's why we're documenting this. You have 1, 2, okay, you got 6 altogether when we put that back in. Okay, now you can take the back. Not counting that, I want to document it too, just in case, if you turn the key and nothing happens. 3 and 1, okay. And it never hurts to take, you taking anything apart, even a motor or anything. Take pictures, take video. That should come right out now.
Yeah, it's just slippery.
You need some kind of a leverage to get in and get some.
The sides are very slippery.
Put a hook in here. Here. Yeah, just grab it by the terminals. Would probably be easier.
That's what I was trying to do. Tell me.
Okay, the easiest way is just grab it with the, unless you have ironclad fingers, which none of us do.
No.
And it ruins your manicure too. Okay, you got the new battery? Yes, yeah, so far. Where'd you get the battery from? What's it with the Power Sports, UASA? UASA's one of the best.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah.
Okay, if it doesn't start the bike, we'll charge it. That's an easy way to say. No, some batteries you're supposed to charge them. The lithiums you're supposed to charge.
It's not lithium.
If it fits, that's like when you buy a GS battery, they tell you it fits and you put it in, it's an inch too big. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Could not be better. Okay, is this the one? It's sealed for life, or you got to put the caps on?
You gotta
put the stuff in. Okay, that's good that we can show that on the video. We're trying to show and share basic 101 information. If you just have to take a bike out of storage, and obviously the battery's 10 years old, a great idea is to get and make sure it's the right battery too. And I wasn't kidding. The GS batteries are really not every battery fits. Okay, so now pull that off. And if you notice, these are sealed with a little piece of tin foil. The batteries have a little razor edge, a little sharp edge. And when you turn that over, it'll puncture it all at once. You can do it the other way.
Yeah, it'll work.
You can turn it up, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Push it down. There you go. Once you push it down, well, you'll watch. Just let it drain. it'll take a while, and it's all interconnected with these pipes up here. Takes a minute or two for that to drain down. And you got the caps that go on there? So the directions say just tap it. Let's see. It is going, but it looks like it's going to take a few minutes. All right. Well, you tap better than I do. They ought to tell you in the directions that it takes a few minutes so you don't get anxious with this. Yeah, it's going though. All right. It's going to take a minute or two. And then that black, the thing that came off, I assume that's the cap that goes back over it? Yeah, okay. Do not open. Yeah, that's the cap. Okay.
Looks like the same thing.
Good basic information. And this battery, it's a good idea to, you know, land. Don't put it in a garbage. Put it somewhere else. Where do you recycle batteries up by you?
Yeah, I'll take it too.
Okay, they do. Now, I hadn't done this because I have all lithium batteries in my bikes, but just for reference, it does take at least the time it takes to have a cup of coffee, and I see it's coming up one bubble at a time. So, but if you didn't know that ahead of time, I didn't see it in the directions either. You know, it's the kind of information you think the battery people would put in that's why we make the videos. So be aware, that did take, what do you think, 10 minutes?
About.
Okay, so this is now empty. Put the caps on and we'll install it in a bike.
Why not?
You'd be great in construction.
Hey, it looks like the original. Look
at
that.
Yeah. Well, they never come off again. They're sealed. That's a sealed battery for life now. So the acid that goes in there, obviously, you don't want to get on your hands or on your motorcycle. And it's only going to go in one way. And obviously it fits. It's exactly the same. So I don't know did it say in the directions if these come fully charged? Or you got to leave it 24 hours?
It's in 2 languages. One of them isn't English.
Yeah, of course. Okay, now just don't pinch any of the wires. You know, you have the zip tie on them. Hey, that's nice how that went in. Yeah. Okay, now you know you got the zip tie ones. Okay. So you got
that. I got
this one goes on the bottom. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Now another little thing. If these were corroded, and it looks like they're not corroded at all, but it would be a good idea to just clean them up with a little bit of sandpaper. But none of these are really corroded, so we're good. Just information some people might not know. I have a battery tender and 7 bikes on charge all the time. But I go, every time I'm out in the garage, which is about 5 times a day, as soon as it's green, I'll just go to the next bike, the next bike. So within every couple of days, all of them get charged. And I used to have one for every bike, and it's just totally unnecessary. One seems to do it. And another thing, lithium batteries need to be charged. If you just let them sit, and it's supposed to be something like 2 months or something, I don't know, but I've heard they deteriorate in cold weather if you don't keep them charged. That's just probably not 100% true, but that's what I've heard from my friends who all have lithium batteries. You didn't get it started? It's easier if you start it with a screwdriver because you're putting pressure down. If you just try to turn that with a wrench, it doesn't seem like you can get enough pressure on the bolt.
That's what it looks
Let's
like.
see if I'm right. Is it catching that?
No. I think.
Okay, all right. Okay, one thing. They don't put these in. This has to go under where the bolt is going to go in. And if for some reason, this is a good trick by the way, if you're trying to use a bolt that's too short, what'll happen is you just can't catch it because you have a lot of extra wires on the bolt. You can just stuff a toothpick or something underneath there so you can get it caught on the first thread. And it's always good if you can use a screwdriver so you can push down on that instead of just tightening it by hand. Okay, it's good if you use a needle nose pliers and get that in there. Another thing, if it keeps moving around, you put a little wheel bearing grease on it and it won't like slide or go to the back. This one's easy though. To avoid getting a spark, and the key is out, just take the fuse out. What's that, 30? What is it, a 30? It's the main fuse. Now you got nothing.
10.
Okay. Now you should, in theory, be able to hook up. I don't know about these modern bikes though. On an RD, none of this applies. This positive and negative. Useful information. These are the ones they give you with the battery. Now, because Najat has a whole bunch of extra things on this bike, accessories, what happens is you need a longer bolt because this bolt is riding higher and higher up away from the nut. And so what happens is you're not catching, I'm trying to make something simple here, you're not catching it. Luckily we have plenty of extra bolts that are just a little bit longer that I have for other things. And in the worst of all worlds, if you can't catch that bolt, again, you can put a toothpick or something underneath the nut, because that nut always has a little bit of play in it. And that's good, just basic 101 information, nothing high-tech there. They tightened up okay now?
Yes.
And you got that one that was not connected, what did you do with that? It was,
on
that's
side?
just for your phone, or what is that one for? You had one that was like an extra here.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you got a fuse here too. That must be for your accessory, the links you have.
I don't use it anymore. It's the old GPS.
Oh, okay, for GPS.
Yeah.
No, just, there you go, put the fuse back in. You got the key to the bike, I hope you brought that.
Lights. We're getting.
You got lights?
Yes.
Okay, well, if it has to be charged, we'll see how long I can leave it here until you're gonna take it.
Yeah.
Leave it on charge, I got plenty of chargers. I can't believe he's having trouble moving the bike too. Now, maybe the brakes are dragging, it could be. We gotta get it up off the ground and see if the brakes are dragging. So we think the battery in the remote, in the VCR here, might be dead. Luckily, he's got the real key.
Yeah, but
You got the real key? It might have to be charged. Maybe you got to charge it overnight. Did it say so in the directions? Huh?
there's a code.
A code. Yeah, you don't have a battery.
There's a code to unlock the bike.
Oh God, he forgot his password.
It's been 6 years.
Oh, you know what? There's no code on an RD. If you don't start, you just keep kicking it. I can't believe it.
So
There's a code you need?
Yeah, a pin code.
Oh my God. This is why I don't own any Ducatis. No code, no code, no code, no code, no code, no code, no code. Code. All right, how do you get the code?
I think we need to have a factory reset.
You got to bring it to Italy.
No.
or Luciano. You got to buy a pizza. How can you make this stuff up? Oh my God.
The buttons are not responsive. I think they all need like lubing or something.
Well, if I put you in a cold garage for 6 years, you need some lubing too. All right, so you got to figure this out now. Let's look on YouTube, see what you have to do to get the code. Another reason to go to YouTube. So what we got, Najat finally figured out the code, but the gas on the bike is 6 years old. He doesn't want to run it. He's going to get a trailer and bring it home.
It won't start.
Oh, look at this. I'll bet it's the calipers. The calipers are probably, are stuck. So how long was this in storage? 6 years?
Over 6 years.
Okay, but obviously it's a pain in the neck. You can't even get it on a trailer. That's why we had so much trouble getting this.
Yeah.
And with the ice and this. Okay, so what I want to do is it's easy to do on this bike. Take the 2 bolts off the caliper, slide the calipers off, and let's see if it's the calipers. We'll clean them up and squeeze the brake and bleed the brakes. Let's see how strong you are.
Not strong enough.
Let me see. What are you doing? You're tightening it. You got to loosen it. The other way.
Why'd you give it to me up there?
Oh, come on, you're stronger than me, man. I'm an old man.
I understand, but you gave it to me that way. Anyway.
There you go. Come on. Do I have to call in the reserves?
I'm afraid
Oh my God, I think I do. Listen, we got it hanging by my come along.
The bottom 2, right?
Yeah.
Not that I did the top yet.
Well, they're Loctited, but it shouldn't be that tight. Oh man, I thought you were stronger.
I'm not.
Oh my God, why am I paying you?
Huh?
Okay, now we got the right to, well, because I broke the bolt. We have the secret wrench, the one that's 6 feet long. If that doesn't get it off, you got to sell the bike. Hey, look at that! Oh, this man is so strong, and he figured out the pin code, but he forgot to put gas in the bike. Now the bike has 6-year-old gas. It might not even be a good idea to run it. Oh my God!
No, I conditioned it.
Oh, you put that.
I conditioned it 3 years ago.
Oh, come on! Take the calipers off so we could spin the front wheel. This is good information. People that put a bike in storage think the day they go to get it, it's going to be just like the day you put it there. You can turn it by hand now.
Yeah.
That'll come right off. Famous last words. I got the ratchet if you need it. That's why we were having so much trouble moving the bike around. It's not that it's so heavy.
No. I told
it
you.
ain't light either, though.
No, but it's not that heavy.
No, I understand. And I'm not that old, so. And Christmas is coming.
This is.
Okay, but
this is
in
not
perfect,
budging.
you would want to twist it to spread the calipers.
I can do that.
There you go, okay. Or just pull it and we'll spread them with, you know, with a tool, a screwdriver. Okay, you take that off.
It doesn't go any further.
And it only doesn't go because you have to get the pucks further apart. And if they're frozen, you're going to have to bleed the brakes. Yeah, we got to take some fluid out of there.
So from here.
So the whole thing with spreading the calipers is to release the pressure on it. And maybe only one caliper is frozen. So see if the front wheel, okay, so this is the only one that's a problem.
I think this side is frozen.
Let's do it anyway. Let's take it apart and we'll just, I'm going to clean that with some brake parts cleaner. Let me clean that up and then we'll put this back. This is good basic information too, is why you have this apart. Clean it with brake part cleaner. You can see there's plenty of meat left, and get them as far, to get the pucks back in as far as possible. And I'll clean that as much as I can with a can of brake parts cleaner. And then because the pucks are far apart now, it'll go right back on. While I'm doing this, the Jot's doing the other side. But right now you can turn the wheel, right?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, but while we're doing this, it's crazy to do one without the other. We'll clean them both up, get them spread, and then we're all done, we'll bleed the brakes. So now that the pucks are spread, that side, you just tighten it up just for right now. You don't have to torque it. We'll torque it with a torque wrench later. There you go. Just make it tight. I just want to see if we have any drag issues. I wonder how many people I know that if something's been in storage for 10 years, they buy it thinking it's going to be like brand new. Every piece of rubber on. There
Much
you go.
better, yeah.
Well, no, do the other one. We'll finish the other one.
That grinding noise isn't bad, right?
But this wheel is going to turn beautifully. Even after we squeeze and bleed the brake, it'll be beautiful. That was worth doing. So now the front wheel's spinning like a champ. We torqued down all the bolts, factory specs. We're going to take the come along, get the back end off. I want to measure the chain wear. You don't have a manual when you replace the chain, or if maybe it's 10 years old. But I can tell. I have the tool to measure it, the wear, and we'll see if it's out of spec. So we got everything we wanted to do today done, and that thing with the code is making me crazy. I don't know about that. I have to find out more about that. Oh. Anyway, we got the front wheel resolved. The chain is well within spec. It's not out. I would get tires though, just because of the age.
Yeah.
And we still have to figure out, well, we'll get fresh gas in there too. When you get it on the trailer, fill it up with brand new gas and dissolve what's in there before you run it. So we had a good time. We're well on our way to getting this back on the road and doing it methodically. But again, I'm amazed about that thing of the pin code. We shouldn't say that. Well, none of these bikes of mine have a pin code, but that's funny. Now, and I called Luciano and he didn't even know about it either. So anyway, he'll have the answer. And in the meantime, it is so cold out here. I hate to admit it, but I'm dying to get inside. Najat brought some Turkish bread for us to try. So what is this, Najat?
This is just
Where's the other one? What are we gonna open up a grocery store here?
that
Pastrami.
No, it's not.
What is this?
It's not pastrami.
pastırma.
Pastrama. That's Turkish?
Yeah, it's cured meat. It's cured in.
So it's like beef jerky?
No, you'll see. It's so. Yeah, I think you should have some. It's
try
very
it.
light. So this is
Oh my God!
government issued bread. Everyone gets this for very cheap.
Wow!
Very cheap.
Wow! I like
Yeah,
this
just
one. Let
smell.
me see. Oh my God!
So basically, that's the same bread in a different shape. That's something
Oh!
special.
Smell best.
Those are called
La 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 la.
simit, and you can find those like
Wow.
street vendors sell them everywhere.
It's like a bagel, like a.
It's in between a pretzel and
A
a
bagel.
bagel.
Oh
Yeah.
my God! So goodbye to my bikini photos
Yeah, I
for
told
next
them
week.
we'll try to take those some pounds.
We're going bye-bye. So the way this day played out, and we are right in the middle of doing a renovation in our house for Karen. We're making her an office. We took a day off to do this. I think it was well spent. And getting the front wheel freed up that now you can push the bike around. We put it in permanent storage. And when we know that the battery is a relatively straightforward, easy to replace thing. Make sure the bolts you use are not too long or they will go into the battery and probably crack it or break it. You've got to watch that. And the wheel's freed up, the chain is in spec, and we had some of the best bread ever. And guys, thanks so much for watching.